Today we are making a mini Monstera plant. Hi and welcome to my craft room. My name is Kelsey. I also call myself Dinosaur Mama, and today we are making a mini Monstera plant for your desk. If you are new to my craft room, welcome. You can find the link to the blog post as well as the free SVG file down below in the description. Let's get started on this tutorial. So the setup for this SVG file is very easy. There's really not much you need to change unless you want to add more plant leaves in. You're more than welcome to do that. The first thing you're going to do is ungroup everything, and then you'll go down to your your planter, whatever you want to call it, and you're going to grab the black center and change that to score. From there, you're going to want to attach the base and the score lines together, and from that, you're done. You can make this bigger if you want. I felt like this was the appropriate size for this in terms of just cutting and in general. From there, when you go to hit make, you can move your leaves around if you want to just have them all on one sheet. So all I did was just move mine down and kind of like at an angle here. So that way I was only using one piece of 12 by 12. And then I sent it over to my machine. I cut everything out on the medium cardstock setting. So let's go ahead and start assembling our plant. Starting with our planter, and you are going to fold in on all of those score lines. So there are two flaps on one side that we're going to attach on the inside of the planter, and then all four sides are going to be folded in. And you can definitely use a bone tool to fold, or you can just use your fingers. It's totally up to you and what you have. You don't need to buy anything special to do these creases. I do suggest when you're doing paper projects, or if you like to do paper projects, going ahead and investing in your scoring tool, whether it be for your Cricut or for your silhouette. For the silhouette, it's nice because you can kind of just use the auto blade. So really with that, what I'm saying is just learn how to use it. When we are doing our sides, you want to line it up so that there's no like piece of the panel that goes on the inside hanging over the edge. So just take your time with lining everything up for this little box. And this is a relatively small project. I did try to make it a little bit bigger at first, but the leaves just were like too floppy. It just kind of looked messy, whereas when I made it a little bit smaller, I thought it was super cute and really did look like a little mini plant. So go ahead and fold in all of your sides. And again, you want those little side panels to be on the inside of the box, and you'll do the same thing on the other side as well. I am using craft glue for this part of my project, and then I switch to hot glue when I start putting in all of the plant pieces. I do feel like for the planter part, like the inside, when we're actually planting the plant, it's just easier to work with hot glue because you don't have to hold it for as long when it's setting. You can kind of just set it and forget it, for lack of better things to say. So once your box is ready, we can go ahead and start assembling the inside. So for this little inside piece, you're going to want to measure and kind of fold in on each side. Now I didn't do score lines on these. There really just isn't a need for it. They just go inside. And see, I'm just making a little fold. It does not have to be perfect. These will not be seen once they are inside the planter. And you can go ahead and just make all of them about the same size. Don't worry if it's perfect or not. Again, these are going to be what holds up our planter pieces, but they don't have to be like perfectly straight. They can have a little bit of a bend to them. It's going to be okay, I promise. So just go ahead and bend all of your pieces. So once you have those bent, you can go ahead and grab your hot glue gun, and we are going to place these in, and we're going to make a cross section. So two of them are going to go one way, and then two of them are going to go the other way, kind of to make the pound sign or hashtag sign in the middle, I guess you can say, or inside your planter. And this is going to be where we attach all of our plants and stems. So I went pretty far down. You can go at least halfway down with your first section. But again, it's up to you on how far down you want your plants to go, I guess. But I went about halfway down with my first level, and you're going to do two one way, and then the next set of two, you'll put these right on top of them, but obviously going in the other direction. So they will be a little bit higher on the next level, which is fine. But you want to make sure you are doing two one way and two the other way. That way you can place your plants in all different directions all around your planter. So once these are in, we can go ahead and put in our other two bars so that we can start putting in all of our plants. And I also used hot glue here, like I mentioned before, just because I wanted it to be in there and secure relatively quickly. That way I'm not holding it up on its sides for too long. But you can definitely use craft glue for this if you feel like you don't have hot glue, or if you feel like craft glue holds a little bit better and you want a little more time to make it perfect. But there you see my little cross section. So now we can start with our plant. I am just going to show you, you kind of just bend it over. You can give it a slight bend with your fingers. Again, you don't really need anything special here. And the way that I bent my actual plant leaves was just over my pointer finger, very, very slightly. I'm not pinching it so that it folds in half. I'm just bending it and rounding it over my finger. And then you'll have a slight bend in your actual stem of your plant. And now we're just going to start attaching it to those bars that we created. And the way that I did it was I kind of went around in a loop. So I did one hanging off to the right, and then I would turn my planter and I would just do this all around. You can use, one without holes and then one with holes if you want to just kind of switch up the variety. But what's great is that each plant is going to be different for each crafter. And so it really just depends on how you lay your plants down and let them overlap. So just, play around as you go through it and place leaves in all different sections. But you see now I'm going in the next different direction away from that last leaf that we just did. And I'm just using a little bit of hot glue and placing it right onto one of the bars that we have already placed inside. And that's how we're going to do the entire rest of the planter. So I'm going to go ahead and speed through the placing of all the different leaves. But if you have any questions, please drop them down in the comments. And you'll see I kind of like fiddle around as we gain more and more leaves inside, because I'm moving around the placement of them to make sure that some are sticking up a little, some are bent down more. So I'm really trying to fill in my plant. And of course, like I mentioned before, you can always cut out more of these leaves, and you can even do them in different colors, or you can use like alcohol inks to make them have a little bit more texture. So make it really your own as much as you can. And here is our final little plant. I'm just fluffing it up with my hands, and I love the way it came out. I hope you enjoyed making this project with me. Thank you for joining me as we made our mini Monstera plant. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It helps me so much. Subscribe to my channel for new crafty videos, and share this with one of your craft friends who needs a cute little paper plant on their desk. I will see you soon in my craft room, and stay crafty.